There's a certain type of woman a man will never try to control because he's far too busy trying not to lose her. Pause for a moment and think about that. We live in a world full of advice on love, endless lists and techniques of seduction, all trying to tell us how to win a man's heart. You're told to be sweet, but not too sweet. Intelligent, but not intimidating. Sensual, but not too available. A labyrinth of contradictory rules designed to shape you into a version that supposedly matches what men want. But what if this whole handbook is wrong? What if the very behavior that burns itself into a man's consciousness, keeps him awake at night and addicted to your presence, is exactly what breaks all of those rules? It's not about outward beauty. Beauty may catch the eye, but it's quickly forgotten. And it's not about manipulation either. Tricks might work in the short term, but they always leave a bitter aftertaste. It's about something much deeper, an energy, a presence that some men describe as dangerous. Why dangerous? Because it's unpredictable, untamable, and above all, it cannot be possessed. So what does this woman do that others don't? Or even more important, what doesn't she do that sparks this chaotic attraction? Why can a man meet 10 seemingly perfect women and forget them the next day, but never forget the one who acts as though she doesn't need him at all? This is where most women make their mistake. They believe they must give a man safety and comfort to keep him. Yet, what truly makes him addicted is a very particular kind of insecurity. Not yours, but his own. That quiet, constant feeling that you are a free spirit, a treasure he stumbled upon, but one that could vanish at any moment. The fear of losing you doesn't create panic. It becomes the engine of his desire. In the next few minutes, you won't hear cheap advice from some magazine. We'll do something more exciting. We'll break down the mechanism of male desire and uncover the missing puzzle piece no one has shown you until now. The quiet authority of a woman who belongs to herself. A woman who, in and of herself, is already a kingdom. To understand this energy, we first need to face an uncomfortable truth. Most relationships don't end because of big dramas or betrayal. They die slowly of boredom, predictability, and the silent erosion of admiration and desire. They die when one person becomes like a piece of furniture to the other, useful, comfortable, but no longer exciting. The trigger for this decay is almost always the same: the shift from privilege to optional. What does that mean? It means you go from being the woman whose message made his heart race to the one he replies to the next day. From being his main plan on a Friday night to a backup if nothing else works out. It's the difference between a man who does everything to be part of your world and one who expects you to dissolve into his. So the big question is, what makes the difference? What quality, what attitude elevates a woman from interesting to unforgettable? As I said, it's not her resume, her bank account, or her facial features. It's a special energy she radiates, a frequency men unconsciously perceive as absolutely irresistible. And yes, in a strange way, also intimidating. Irresistible because it's real. In a world full of masks and conformity, she is a lighthouse of authenticity. She doesn't need validation. She has already given it to herself. Intimidating because her happiness doesn't depend on him. For a man used to being the center of his partner's universe, that is a true challenge to his ego. Her calmness and self-sufficiency send a clear message. My world is fascinating with you in it, but if you leave, it remains fascinating. To grasp the source of this power, we need to enter the center of man's inner conflict. It's a duality as old as humanity itself, a constant battle in his mind, even if he isn't fully aware of it. On one side stands his desire for stability, peace, a safe harbor. The part of him that wants a partner, a home, a routine that brings order. The logical, rational voice that whispers, "Here you are safe." On the other side is a much more primal instinct, the longing for challenge, adventure for the unattainable. The part of him that doesn't want a harbor, but an open sea. That doesn't seek rest, but conquest. Not comfort, but aliveness. The voice that says, out there is something that will make you truly feel alive. Most women usually unconsciously speak only to one side of this duality. Think of the image of the gentle, accommodating partner. She is the embodiment of the safe harbor. She offers comfort, agrees with him, shapes a routine around his, soothes his worries. Her love is a balm, and at the beginning that feels incredibly attractive. It's easy, pleasant. He feels like a king in a peaceful, predictable castle. No dramas, no friction. His mind gives her the highest rating. But then another kind of energy appears. She isn't a rival in the traditional sense. In fact, it seems as though she hardly even notices him. She's a woman with what we call queen energy. She doesn't offer a man a safe harbor because she herself is the open sea. She doesn't give him a castle because she's too busy building her own kingdom. She doesn't organize her life around him. She invites him in, but only if he proves himself worthy of being part of her world. Her love isn't a balm that soothes. It's a fire that challenges him to grow. She doesn't automatically agree with him. She speaks her truth even when it contradicts his. And this is where the man's inner conflict explodes. His mind tells him to stay in the safe, predictable castle. It sounds logical, reasonable, but his instinct, his raw, primal nature, feels irresistibly drawn to the open sea. The queen's energy echoes in his mind, not as an obsession, but as a lasting resonance. The memory of a conversation where she challenged him intellectually. The glow in her eyes when she spoke of her passions, her projects, her life that exists with or without him. Suddenly, the safety of the castle feels less appealing because the real fire, the real vitality, seems to be elsewhere. He is caught between two forces, comfort and vitality, safety and mystery. And it is on this silent battlefield that the true power of attraction is decided. So how does this queen energy show itself in daily life? What concrete behaviors make her so irresistible? The answer is subtler and more powerful than most expect. Queen energy does not mean arrogance, coldness, hurting others, or pretending to be a queen. Those are masks of insecurity. The real energy comes from self-respect. Imagine a planned date. 1 hour before, a message arrives. Hey, sorry. Something came up with my friends. Tonight won't work. Let's do another time. The woman with neediness panics and smooths things over. She says, no problem. I understand. The result? He unconsciously devalues her presence. The woman with queen energy, however, responds differently. She acknowledges her disappointment, stays true to herself, and replies calmly. I understand. Sometimes things come up. Too bad. I was looking forward to it. Enjoy your evening. Next week, I'm already booked, but we can see in a few days if it works. Notice the psychological magic. She preserves her energy, asserts her boundaries, and creates scarcity without drama. He feels the thrill of earning her attention, the tension of desire, and admiration that comes from encountering someone truly self-respecting. Now, let's step into the culmination of this journey, the final, transformative stage of queen energy. Here, principles, behaviors, and mindset converge into a presence so magnetic that it resonates beyond superficial attraction. The final truth is simple, yet revolutionary. A woman who truly embodies queen energy does not adjust herself to anyone else's expectations. She elevates her life to a level so radiant, so self-contained, so magnetic, that any man who wishes to enter it must rise to meet her. Every choice you make as a queen is a declaration of self-respect. Every boundary, every pursuit, every moment of joyful solitude broadcasts a message to the world and to him. I am sovereign. I am complete. I am not dependent. I am extraordinary. Because in the end, the woman who belongs to herself is unstoppable. She is magnetic, unforgettable, and irresistibly alive. She is queen energy. And now, the choice is yours.